All right, and welcome to episode 12 of CHOW. Couldn't possibly make this more awkward sitting up in a parking garage. But this is my cousin, Pittsburgh Penguins fan Justin Fudge.
Yes, sir.
My fiance Melanie Sheppard. And Minnesota Wild fan Steve Bailey.
What's that?
I was going to say North Stars, I don't know why.
It's the first Minnesota Wild fan I've ever met.
Yeah, there's not very many of them around, is there?
Not many of them around, no.
No, for sure. So we just left the Growlers game. They managed to
Screw up?
screw up a sweep.
Royally.
Royally, yeah.
Refs helped, though.
Oh, God, the refs were horrible.
Same class from Toronto game.
Basically. Yeah, they were...
Was that the same team, man? I said they had the same lineup on.
Yeah, refs, yeah. They shipped them
They
down.
shipped them down here. Boys, you screwed up that game so badly last night. At least one.
We're going to put you
We're
in
going
the
to put you down in
CHO.
Newfoundland. Yeah. That's your punishment for letting the Leafs win. You didn't do a bad enough job, so we're going to send you to Newfoundland. See if you can screw this one up.
So me, Melanie, and Steve were late getting to the game. It was 4-0 for the Royals by the time we got here. Now, of course, the Growlers made things a little interesting. Only being down 4-2 there at the beginning of the third, but managed to lose 6-3. It's always a good time. A little bit of false hope.
A little bit of false hope, yeah.
Well, they're still up 3-1 the series, so I have good hope that they'll make the third round.
I think they will beat them.
Yeah.
Last night was shit, though.
Yeah, definitely. Compared to the last game when they put out the Thunder, yeah, this was a really bad game. So Florida managed to also screw up a sweep last night. Lost to Toronto 2-1. That was... You know what? Toronto actually played a decent game last night. Defensively. Every time that Florida tried to get into the zone, Toronto was there to stop them. Every time that Toronto got the puck, they just flicked it back out. Which was like, if Toronto had played that way in Game 3, and the series was 2-1 and now 2-2, would be a lot more of a, I guess, a hope for Toronto fans.
A bit more chance.
A bit better of a chance. It's really implausible to see the Leafs come back from being down 3-0, but of course now that would be a proper...
Epic comeback for the history.
Oh, yeah. Something that they'll,
And I mean, this playoffs has already been crazy as it is.
Yeah, for sure.
And you get the Boston Bruins coming in as the best NHL record ever, and it gets knocked out in the first round.
Yeah, you hate to see it. I mean, I'm not against Florida by no means. I don't cheer for them, especially with the whole Matthew Tkachuk situation. But I'd rather them, of course, advance than Toronto. That's just me. But I wasn't expecting them to beat Boston by no means. But they're dominating. They're dominating the scoreboard, I should say, in the series. I mean, Toronto is playing just as hard of a game as Florida is. These games have not been no landslide victories by no means.
I think someone in the Florida review room is doing their job well, because they seem to know how to shut down top players very well.
Yeah.
It's done the same thing with Boston. They just shut down their top guys, and you can see it with the Leafs are like the top 4 players, or their core 4, whatever they call it, aren't producing.
No, that's right. And I mean, Marner scored and Nylander scored in Game 4. That's the first time the core 4 actually scored at all in the series. They all netted a couple assists, but none of them have scored until Game 4.
You need those third and fourth lines.
Yeah, they win you games in the playoffs.
Or just be Seattle and be a whole team of third line.
Well, they've got a whole bunch of middle sixers basically, and they're going
4-3 lines.
with it.
All 4 lines are the third line.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, I guess you can say Vegas ain't far off either. They're probably like all 4 lines are second lines.
Yeah, Vegas. They got Eichel and they got Stone. I mean, they're top liners in most teams, I guess, in the league. Especially Eichel. Mark Stone's kind of starting to come out of his prime, I guess. But that series took a twist for it at the end.
It did, yeah. That big two-hander was...
You stayed up and watched that, didn't you, Steve?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
You You saw that when Petrangelo had the two-hander?
Yeah, it's pretty dirty. Dirty play.
Comes down with the twig, and I mean they originally given him only 5,000, didn't they?
Yeah, then it was readjusted to one game.
Had to be a game. If Nurse is getting a game, he got to get a game.
Yeah.
Just
So,
equal out.
I don't find that this series though between Vegas and Oilers, I don't think they're like. Obviously, it's competitive. The series is 2-2, but I mean each game is like a 5-1 or a 5-2 victory, or
There's a landslide one way or the other. There's no really grindy in between like game that could go either way. It's always one way or the other already by the end of the second.
the Oilers. I mean, they went up 1-0 last night. I went and brushed my teeth, and by the time I got back from brushing my teeth, they were up 3-0.
Well, when you got Draisaitl and McDavid, it's easy to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's why Petrangelo gave him that hacksaw Jim Duggan. Just like, you know what? It's Draisaitl. Let's just slow him down a bit.
Yeah, it's brutal.
I'm surprised he never went down on the fucking before he done it. Bang.
Listen, are you Leafs fan?
No.
Okay, because I was going to say you'd be used to this point.
The Oilers generally play a dirtier game, anyways. I find they're always rough and.
You only say that because you're a Calgary fan.
Oh well. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
No, but yes.
That's biased. Yeah, you got to. You got to say that. If you don't say that, you're not a Calgary fan.
No, it's true. It's true. You know, I mean, it's a good series. I don't know. I don't have a preference at all for who comes into this series. I mean, I don't think that Seattle or Dallas will take care of Vegas or Edmonton. I think that whoever comes out of this Vegas-Edmonton series.
That's the West finalist.
For sure.
No, I mean, Seattle are a little pesky.
Yeah, they
put out the defending Stanley Cup champs, so I mean they got potential. I mean,
that's right.
Colorado was banged up, but
yeah, people are underestimating them for sure. Landeskog's gone for all of next season, and he's getting cartilage surgery on his knee.
Yeah, that's gonna be. That could be career ending for him.
Yeah, for sure.
The injuries like that are crazy.
Yeah, it's Mark Mathot had the same kind of injury in surgery.
He never really came back to 100% after that, I don't think.
No, definitely didn't.
I'm just going to give them how much cap room now next year. That's going to be a big. They're going to fall beyond the market now for someone big.
Wasn't Landeskog out all this season?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, rough.
But this should give him. I mean, he's got to be getting at least $9 million a year. So.
Yeah, he's getting big bucks. I'm not sure offhand how much.
Be a big cap hit.
Melanie randomly decided that Seattle is going to be her team now.
Why not?
What? Why not?
Yeah.
No, that's right. We was watching the game, and of course we went to go to bed, so I switched from the living room TV to the bedroom TV, and just got in and watched most of the first and second period. And she was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Well, is this your team now?" She goes, "Yeah, I like the colors." I was like, "Okay, cool." Right, Mel? You don't nod. Nobody can see your face on camera, but you don't nod.
Just reach out with a thumbs up and just go.
Yeah, there you go.
Like Emperor Rome. Oh,
people wearing black crossing the road, but there's no crosswalk.
Mother Nature's camouflage there. Can't see nothing.
Mother Nature's camouflage. Pretty good. Yes. That series, though, Seattle and Dallas, that's kind of back and forth as well, right? The West seems to be more back and forth in their series compared to the East, right? The East, both series are up, obviously 3-1. New Jersey and Carolina are playing right now, but I mean Seattle and Dallas, they're back and forth. I mean Seattle dominated Game 3, Dallas dominated Game 4. It's either or. What series are you watching the most, Steve?
Mostly Edmonton.
You're staying up and watching them games?
Yeah.
I've watched every Leafs game in Florida game. Like back in round 1, I was always switching back and forth to games where half an hour offsets. And every time the period would end and go to intermission, I wouldn't even bother to watch the announcements or the commentators. I'd switch to the other game and watch that until that period was over, then switch back. And Worked out pretty good for the most part. I only missed like 5 and 10 minutes of each period in the end, right? So
I've been watching a lot of the Leafs game and then switching back and forth. But I usually watch early on my computer, so I got multiple screens up, so I'm usually watching more than one game at a time.
yeah,
That mixed with some basketball. Most of the Leafs series for me.
yeah. Well, your father's a Leafs fan, anyways.
He is, yeah. I guess you could say I kind of grew up a Leafs fan until like I smartened up and had my own choice. You know, I wasn't force fed into it. Here, you are a Leafs fan.
No thanks.
No, I'm gonna pass. Like,
Sorry, Dad. This team wins.
this team don't win very much. I don't like it. I want to see the playoffs.
Yeah.
I got to see that for 16 seasons in a row, and then they decided to
Not make it this year.
not make it this
Just
year.
about to
Last
skin their
minute.
teeth, though.
At the last minute, just decided not to. Whoa, horsey!
Just gonna walk out. Everybody's wearing black tonight.
Almost GTA'd them.
Put them over the bonnet.
Over the
Oops.
bonnet, yeah.
Say John's for you, ladies
What
and
happened?
gentlemen.
Did you hit a moose? No, I hit 2 pedestrians going downtown.
Oh,
Must
right.
well have been a moose.
Yeah. All right, Justin, you're gonna guide me up towards your place because
Not a problem. You got no one this way.
Perfect. I know I got to come up here, turn right, and then turn left.
Well, yeah, but you can't get on the harbor side of the arterial.
No, I'm not trying to get on the arterial. I'm trying to when I turn up left here and
Yeah.
turn.
Oh, you're going to turn up by Delta?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you're going to turn right up here.
Yeah. What did I say? Left.
You said left, yeah.
Left, right.
That's why I was saying left is the arterial.
Right, left.
Show you.
Oh, wow.
Huh? Amazing, yeah. L's for left.
L is for left.
Yeah. And not the backwards one. The backwards one means it's right.
What if I turn it this way? Then they're both left.
Well, then that's just on you. You might want to start taking the special bus.
Yeah.
And bang.
Speaking of pedestrians.
Yeah.
So, what's the score of the New Jersey-Carolina game now?
I think it's an intermission now.
Second intermission? What's the score at the end of the second? Or the beginning? Whatever. Second intermission.
Get on the information superhighway. I'll let you know in a second.
Information superhighway.
It is 2-2 at the end of the second period, so the boss tied it up.
That's pretty good. Carolina tied it up. Dawson Mercer scored the first goal of the game. Can I go at any time? Everything's clinking around the back seat. Melanie and Steve are sitting in silence. It's very unconventional. Turn left here.
Sure, he wants to.
I was looking at it on Google Maps before I left to come in today.
You just get up to Lamarche, once you get to Lamarche, and just a straight shot.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, you think there was talks there for a while that Sid was going to finish his career somewhere else? You think he's going to stay in Pittsburgh, or do you think he's going to flock off somewhere like Patrick Kane done and shag up somebody else's chances?
I can't see him turn down a chance to play Montreal.
Think he'll go to the Habs?
I think he will. There's a lot of history there. I don't want to see it, but I think if he's given the opportunity and somehow in the next few years that they become a contender.
Straight or left?
Left. Somehow they become a contender, I think he will try to go there.
Yeah. That's weird to think, though, man. You imagine Steve seeing Crosby in a friggin' Habs jersey?
Yeah, it's Leafs, that rivalry with Leafs, and instead of Leafs, instead of like rivalry with the Flyers, rivalry with Leafs.
Yeah. I don't know. He's still good, man. He's still getting like point per game per season. So I mean, how many years he got left in his contract in Pittsburgh?
He just signed again, didn't he? No,
Not quite sure.
I'm not sure either how many years he got left. I think all of them are on the same. They're all lining up. Their big three are lined up basically to make another 2 years, maybe.
Okay.
I think when they signed Letang and Malkin in the offseason, they lined it up so they'd all in at the same time. So I guess they were like, here we go, we'll try a few more times, and
That'll be it.
that'll be it.
The Flames got a few players to sign this offseason. I don't know how they're going to manage to. Like Backlund's done after next year. Toffoli is up.
Yeah, there's a lot of change I think going to happen there and Winnipeg because they're both in the same predicament. I think where their older guys are on expiring contracts now, and what are you going to do?
Yeah, no, it's rough because I mean nobody wanted to play in Calgary with Sutter. I mean now Sutter's gone. Was that whoop whoop? You trying to scare me?
Yeah.
I don't need any tickets here tonight. Then he's gonna be like, "What are you doing with the laptop in the back seat?" And I'm gonna be like, "This is for your safety and my safety."
I do not answer questions.
I need to see my lawyer.
I do not answer questions.
Yeah, with Sutter gone now, I think there's a few players that's going to change their mind to stay. Honestly, they need to name a captain, and Michael Backlund was definitely the best decision. He also wants it. So, I mean,
It's interesting to see who they bring in there now because, I mean, a lot of people, they lost a lot of players and a lot because of him.
yeah, it's sad. I mean,
They
we even lost our GM because of him.
Yeah.
Steve, do you think Minnesota's going to make any big changes this offseason now, like losing in the first round again?
You got to do something because you got cap space. You got to trade a couple players to get some cap space there to
Yeah.
make a few changes there.
I don't understand why in the trade deadline they did 2 or 3 trades where they took 25% of people's salaries for nothing, for scraps.
Yeah, they should have let the year go and
I mean,
back out again next year, I think.
is there many years left on Zuccarello in Minnesota? I don't
I think
know.
it's only a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
Pretty sure, yeah.
I mean, you got Zuccarello and Boldy and Kaprizov. I mean, Minnesota got potential. They have Fleury there, too. He's playing again this year, isn't he?
He got one more year left.
Yeah.
I think this is his last year, so, I mean, is Danner out for Minnesota?
Yeah,
I mean, they...
he's too consistent now.
There's been a lot of stirs, though, that Pittsburgh may try to get him back for another one more year, his final year.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Well, their goaltending's terrible.
Yeah, Jarry is not a cup-winning goalie by no means.
No, and
Is there 2 lanes here, or am I...
now there's one lane. Just a lot of extra sideways for this side for parking.
Yeah.
Because it's considered downtown still.
Oh, okay. Jarry, yeah, he's... And Casey DeSmith.
He's supposed to be good, but he turned out crappy.
Yeah, not as good as he was supposed to be.
No, not at all. So I think they're gonna have to go to. I can see him go after Gibson because I think he wants out of Anaheim.
He wanted it at Anaheim last year, and there was rumors he was going to Toronto.
Yeah.
And of course, well, everybody always rumors he's going to Toronto. If you ask the panelists, they're like, "Oh yeah, Toronto has a hand in on this guy."
Isn't he from the area?
Toronto,
Yeah. No, Gibson.
from Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
He's Canadian.
yeah.
Well, it seems like Eric Carlson. But yeah, Eric Carlson has a chance if San Jose retains 50% of his salary and somebody else retains 25%. Eric Carlson can go to Toronto. It's like, okay, that's fine, but where do you think like he's going to fit in? Like, I don't. Eric Carlson is an offensive defenseman. They don't need that. They need better defensive. Right?
What's his name? Was pretty good showing though. Wall, I don't know how he says his last name.
Oh, Wall
Yeah.
on Toronto.
Yeah.
He played well.
He did.
He played well for that game. He held his own. He's only 24 years old.
Yeah, he held his own coming in, and he held his own last game too. So I mean,
Yeah.
they may have something there.
Somebody said in between intermissions there for that game last night, he is the first Leafs goalie in 30 years to be like a backup. Like the third goalie. He's the first
string.
time. First time a third goalie started a game for the Leafs in the playoffs in 30 years.
It's hard to consider him as third goalie when Matt Murray is like coming off a concussion though.
Yeah, well, Matt Murray has played what? Not even half the season.
No. And his goals against average was like 3.0.
Steve, do you prefer Gustafsson over Talbot, or you think Talbot was the better goalie?
Well, Gustafson's a lot better.
Think so?
Yeah.
You probably watch more Minnesota games than I catch.
Yeah, Talbot's hurt a lot too, but yeah, it's just Gustafson's a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, Fleury is not going to be there all year. I mean, I think he's good to have in as a second goalie for sure next season, if he stays in Minnesota. Trade deadline, he'd probably go away depending on what's going on in Minnesota for the season, I guess.
It's okay if he played like 20-25 games. That'd be it.
Yeah.
Gustafson had the rest of it.
Markstrom needs to play less games in Calgary, man. Markstrom plays way too many games in Calgary. Dan Vladar did a fantastic job almost every game he played. And Sutter was like, nope, Markstrom's going to play. And Markstrom was like, yeah, I want to play all the games. And Markstrom was a guy that apparently wanted to he was into playing these back-to-backs. Like, he wanted to play both games. That wasn't just Sutter, that was also Markstrom that wanted that.
Play back-to-backs.
Yeah.
mean, I think with goalies now, though, you need to have some kind of, it's sad to say it, but like the NBA, you gotta have some kind of load management. These guys can't play as much as they do.
Yeah, they're not like the players coming out on the ice and getting the 2-minute shift and sitting down for 4.
No, man, and if an injury as a goaltender is way worse than more other positions in the NHL because of the movement. You can pull yourself in so many different ways.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like Samsonov now, he went off and he's hurt now. I mean, you know, and then Vegas has gone through, what, 1 or 2 goalies since the beginning of the playoffs?
Yeah.
We turning right here or the next one?
Right.
So, yeah, you know, like I said, load management 100% needs to be some way. Like, I mean, you should not be playing your star goalie more than 60 games.
No.
Like 22 games for a backup is definitely fine, seeing as there's at least 10 teams in the league that are clear bottom feeders.
I think most NHL teams got to start going to their third string because they really don't know what you got there until you give them an opportunity.
No, that's right. I mean, look at his wall. You know, he's coming in and
Taking a left here.
left right here.
At that street coming up, yeah.
Okay. No, for sure. It's not as clear cut as just putting in your starter goalie and hoping for the best all the time.
No. Because then the starter goalie gets hurt and then you're up the creek without a paddle.
Yeah. Well, like Toronto right now, I mean, you know, they managed to hold on a wall, but can they do it 3 more games? I don't know.
Well, it would be something.
Who's your pick right now out of the 8 teams left for the cup?
I personally think if whoever wins the Edmonton-Vegas series is going to win the cup.
Got the cup?
Yeah.
I think it's Carolina, honestly. I think Carolina's just strong and they're facing these mediocre.
It's right here. It's right there past that Cul-de-sac sign.
Oh, okay.
Cul-de-sac sign's that way. It's weird. It's a spot. Yeah, up there.
Oh, up here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then
I thought we were on the street, sorry.
No.
No, I think Carolina, they've got some opponents there that's not like the strongest. And they're going to wind up now facing a banged-up Toronto or a banged-up Florida.
Yeah. You're going straight for a while. This ain't the street.
Oh, okay. You just cut me up in and out.
Yeah, instead of, because you can go that way and up, and then you got to come back. Or you can just go that way and go almost like straight across diagonally. So you're taking right here and then left next.
Out of who's left, Steve, who do you think's got the best chance at the cup?
I said Oilers. I think the Oilers Carolina final.
It's a rematch of 2006.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. Who you got, Melanie? Seattle? Yeah, Seattle.
Least to
definitely.
crack it.
They're going to win. That's it. Second year in the league. Perfect.
Playground sign. Left side, right side.
Yeah, I know you're on the right.
Yeah, the kids that play basketball sign there.
You're right.
Up ahead of that.
Up ahead of that. Oh, okay.
Right at the fire
Gotcha.
hydrant.
I see you.
You got it?
Gotcha. Perfect, sir.
There it is.
Thank you for coming to the Growlers game, and thanks for coming on this very
No problem, buddy.
impromptu episode of CHOW.
No, thanks for having me. Sorry I'm bad luck and I can't see a Growlers game win, but maybe next time. The next time I won't go because then they will win. It'll be hilarious.
That's right.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, see ya. All right, so that's it for this episode of CHOW. I got these 2 chatterboxes here now. We got to hit the highway. So, ciao.